The sun had barely risen over the thick emerald canopy when the first scream echoed through the forest. It wasn't human. It was the sharp, trembling cry of a terrified horse. For years, the villagers of Revel Creek whispered about things living deep in the wilderness, creatures older than the forest itself. Some tales were exaggerated, some based on truth, and some, like the stories about the monster Serpent, were believed only by children. Until that morning. The discovery Lena Hart, a young wildlife rescuer, was the first to hear the frantic cries. She froze, listening carefully. Horses didn't normally roam this part of the jungle. The nearest ranch was several miles away. Something's wrong, she whispered to herself, gripping the strap of her backpack and sprinting down the narrow dirt path. As she pushed through vines and branches, the cries grew louder and more painful. When she finally reached a clearing, she gasped. A small, trembling horse, no larger than a pony, stood trapped in the coils of a gigantic python. The serpent wasn't just big, it was monstrous. Its body was thick as a tree trunk, its scales glistening like polished obsidian. Each breath it took tightened its hold around the helpless creature. The horse's eyes rolled in panic, its legs kicking weakly. Foam dripped from its mouth as it tried to scream again. No. Oh no, Lena whispered. She immediately pulled out her radio. Base, this is Lena. I've located the horse. It's in critical danger. Python attack. I need backup now. Static crackled. Copy that, Lena. Team is on the way. Hold your position. Her heart hammered against her ribs. She was trained, but not enough to face something this large alone. Still, she couldn't just stand there. So she began shouting, waving her arms. Trying to distract the python, the monster lifted its head slowly and stared directly at her. Its eyes were cold, ancient, unblinking. Lena stepped back, trembling. Its jaws creaked open. She swallowed hard. This was a bad idea. The heroes arrive. The python lunged, Lena dodged, but its head slammed into the ground inches from her, shaking the earth. She scrambled backward, breath ragged, then crack. A flare streaked across the sky and exploded above the clearing. Lena, down! A familiar voice cut through the chaos. It was Commander Briggs, leader of the Revel Creek search and rescue. Behind him were two more heroes. Morrow, the tracker with unmatched jungle instincts, Dr. Elise Rowan, the animal behavior expert known for calming even the wildest beasts. They burst into the clearing with ropes, poles, and specialized equipment. Briggs pointed. Elise, get to the horse. Morrow, with me. We distract this thing. Elise didn't hesitate. She rushed toward the trapped horse, whispering soft, soothing sounds. The python hissed, raising its head like a cobra preparing to strike. Briggs yelled, banging a metal pole on a tree to draw its attention. Over here, you overgrown belt! Morrow hurled a smoke pellet, creating a thick cloud that momentarily blinded the serpent. The python tightened its coils in response. The horse screamed, "Hurry!" Elise cried. Its ribs can't take much more. Briggs and Morrow coordinated perfectly, circling the monster from opposite sides. Their movements were sharp, practiced, fearless. The battle in the clearing, the python struck again, tail whipping hard enough to snap a branch clean in half. Briggs barely dodged it. Lena, he shouted. Help, Elise, free the horse. Lena raced to the horse's side with trembling hands. The python's body was like a solid wall around the creature, pulsing with terrifying strength. Elise looked at her. On my signal. Pull the coil up just enough so I can slide a barrier under it. Ready? Ready. They crouched at the serpent's thickest coil. The horse's breathing was shallow, its body shaking violently. Now, Elise commanded. Together they lifted. The coil moved, barely an inch, but it was enough. Elise shoved a wooden wedge under it. Again. Lift. Wedge. Lift. Wedge. Their arms burned. Their lungs screamed for air, but they kept going. Behind them, Briggs and Morrow kept the python distracted, barely. Morrow shouted, "It's targeting us. Keep moving!" The serpent twisted, knocking Briggs off his feet. He rolled as its tail slammed down where he had just been. Lena glanced back, heart surging with fear. "Commander!" "I'm fine. Keep working." He wasn't fine, but he refused to stop fighting. Everything falls apart just when they were about to lift the final coil. The python realized the horse was slipping away from its grip. It let out a deep, rumbling hiss that vibrated through the ground. Then it whipped around toward the rescuers. "Brace yourselves," Morrow yelled. The Serpent slammed into the wedge pile, sending wood pieces flying like deadly splinters. Elise screamed. Lena shielded her face. Briggs staggered back, choking on dust. The python reared its massive head, towering 6 feet above them. For a moment, everything froze. The horse lay gasping, barely conscious. Lena trembled. Morrow wiped blood from his forehead. Elise clutched the horse's mane. Briggs raised his flare gun again, hand shaking. But before he fired, a deep voice echoed through the clearing. "Stand down. I have a better idea." A new figure stepped out from the brush. It was old Ranger Havel, the most experienced wildlife expert in the region. He rarely spoke, rarely appeared. But when he did, everyone listened. "Havel," Briggs gasped. "How did you—" "No time. Keep your distance." Havel stepped forward slowly, calmly, fearlessly, toward the python. The old ranger's secret, he held nothing but a staff carved from ancient hardwood. At the end hung a small charm made of teeth and feathers. Havel began chanting softly, words no one recognized. The python paused. For the first time, its eyes weren't filled with hostile fire. Something else flickered there, confusion. "Or recognition," Elise whispered. "What is he doing?" "Old forest magic," Morrow breathed. "I've only heard legends." The python swayed, mesmerized. Havel edged closer and tapped the Serpent on the snout with the charm. "Enough," he murmured. "Back to the depths. This creature is not your prey." Slowly, unbelievably, the monster loosened its coils. The horse slid free, collapsing into Elise's arms. The python turned, gliding toward the shadows of the forest. Its enormous body slithered silently over roots and stones until it vanished completely. The clearing fell silent. The aftermath Elise immediately checked the horse's breathing. "It's alive," she whispered, teary-eyed, bruised, traumatized, but alive. Lena sank to the ground, overwhelmed with relief. Briggs clapped a hand on Morrow's shoulder. "Good work, team." Havel nodded once and turned to leave. "Wait," Lena called. "How did you know how to calm it?" He stopped at the edge of the clearing. "There are creatures in these woods," he said without turning, "that remember old promises. Some of us live long enough to keep them." And then he disappeared into the trees. A new beginning. The rescued horse, later named Miracle, became the heart of the village. Children brought it apples, farmers brushed its coat, and travelers came from distant towns to see the horse that survived the forest serpent. As for Lena, the incident changed her forever. She realized bravery wasn't the absence of fear. It was acting despite fear. Briggs promoted her to field leader. Morrow taught her survival skills. Elise became her closest friend, and together, they formed the Ravel Creek Hero Unit, dedicated to saving wildlife and humans alike, even from creatures no one